I see you, Kayla. All right, we're live. We're live. We're live. Let me put my headphones on. Let's see if they cooperate today. So, y'all, I got my pearls on. I got my pearls on for Kamala. That is not the president that we got, unfortunately. But I wanted to wear pearls anyway because that's just how I felt today. And I was talking before I got on. Thank you, friend. Before I got on to YouTube, I was on TikTok and I was talking about how I felt sad. I felt sad. And even when I woke up this morning, I didn't share this with y'all, but when I woke up around like I want to say about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and something just told me like Trump won. And I don't know why. I guess because I fell asleep and I had maybe been looking at the polls to see what the numbers were. But eventually I just turned it off because I was like, I can't just sit here and watch numbers all day. So I turned it off. But when I woke up, just randomly in the middle of the night, I was like, Trump won. But I didn't turn my phone on and look at it or anything. I didn't confirm that thought. I just was like, you know, that's just what I felt. And I couldn't like shake the feeling. Like there just wasn't a part of me that believed anything different. And so then I woke up and I started scrolling. Eventually it took me a while, y'all. Like I did not want to get online because I was like, I just feel like I'm right. And so when I finally got online, I saw someone talking about how sad they were, and I was like, oh dang, I'm right. I'm right. So then this is like on thread. So then from there I went and I looked at the actual like news and I saw the numbers. And so I was like, okay, well, that's what it is. And I took my time this morning getting ready. I allowed myself the space to be disappointed because I was. And it's not even because I felt like our lives were going to be magically transformed with Kamala. Like I have to be honest about that. That wasn't the reason why. But what I did feel is that there was so much socially that was impacted by Trump being president last time. Hey, Audacity, that the thoughts of him being in the White House again, I was just having such a hard time trying to understand like if we all experience the same thing. I was like, were we not all there? Did we not all go through this together? Like how did we come to this conclusion, And so that was the part to me that I felt disappointed by. But what I know regardless is that we're going to be all right. We're going to be fine. And I'm not worried, but it is a disappointment that I can't ignore right here. Someone's asking. I guess I can give the number in a second. I'll share it in the screen. But we're gonna be all right. I'm disappointed. It made me sad. It made me annoyed. I'm side eyeing some people because I'm over here like I thought more of us was voting for her. So what? Because that map was red. Okay, that map was rojo, rojo. And I was like, oh, so either I'm in a bubble or somebody lied. Okay, someone lied, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, it got red. Oh my gosh. I was like, I mean, it was some stuff, there was some states that was purple, and I just saw them slowly morph into red. I was like, shock, awe, gasp. This where we at? But yeah, y'all. That's what I can't just act like it didn't happen. So I'm gonna acknowledge it, especially because I wasn't vocal. during the political season, and I'm typically not. And just don't expect that from me because that's just not the kind of person that I am. But I did feel like this one was important to address. And so I am. And I just I'm realizing that as someone who is a leader and who is growing, that to not address it and to not acknowledge it at all felt irresponsible. You know, it felt irresponsible, especially when you look at all the people who were campaigning so hard for one side or the other, and the people who were very, very vocal about who they're voting for and who they feel like you should vote for. I am not and will not be that person because I just don't believe in it, whether I agree with you or not. But what I will always do and what I will continue to do is to not act like I don't see what's happening, you know? Not act like I don't know what's going on, not act like I don't understand the sentiments that people have. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Okay? But those are my thoughts, and that's all I'm sharing on the topic. Okay? So, we are going to get back to business. Okay, guys? All right. So, to y'all, oh, my number fell. I gotta get some better sticky notes because this is getting ridiculous. They fall every day. But this is where we're at today, y'all. YouTube. Well, I mean, it's getting caught in the light. Hold on, can y'all see that? We're at 6:55, so we're going up. We're going on up. We're getting closer and closer to our 1K. And my confession for today, y'all, is that which one do I want to share? Because I got a couple. Okay. I think that this okay. I'm gonna share this one. So my creator confession for today is that I am glad that I'm moving up in numbers. Okay. I'm very grateful for that. But I want it to be faster. And I don't want to feel bad about that. Thank you. Is that Kesh? Let me move this to make it bigger. I thank you, Brittany. I wanted to move faster. I wanted to move faster. I am all for, slow and steady growth, but I want it to be faster. And not even just because I want to reach the goal, but because I I feel like it's time. Like when I make those videos and I'm like I should have 1,000 subscribers by now. I'm saying that because it's like a a wake up call for me. But I'm also saying that because this is not the first time that I've done something like this. And I mentioned this when I first got started. Even on even with TikTok though, I'm not gonna lie to you, Black Cherokee. Even with TikTok, I I felt this way here too. Because my growth was not fast on TikTok. It was a chunk of time where I grew very quickly, but it was like a crawl. It was a crawl to get to 1,000. Like it just took so much. Hey Deanna, it took so much. And so what I feel, this is like a theory, but I don't feel like I'm too far off with this, okay? But what I feel is that what empowers here, let me say what I feel first. What I feel is that TikTok and YouTube are very similar in the way that they work, okay? And the reason why I say that is because I have seen people who have grown exponentially on YouTube off of one video. And if you look at how people grow on TikTok, hey friend, over on YouTube, if you look at how people grow on TikTok, that's typically how people grow. Like people don't get these huge numbers from like slow and steady growth. They get them from these bursts where their videos pop off, and that's where a lot of people's numbers come from. Now, most people won't tell you that, but that's what really happens. Like that's what happens on both platforms. And so you can have a consistent level where you're like growing, gradually, but when people start getting to those big numbers, they have particular videos that pop off that help them to grow. And so what I'm waiting for, yeah, Deanna's agreeing with me on TikTok. She said she grew off of 2 videos. And that's the thing that, oh, I got a thought on that, but let me slow myself down a second. So but that's what I'm waiting for with YouTube is basically what I'm saying. I'm waiting for that video or those videos that kind of set the motion and the traction for the numbers to grow exponentially. So I see the fact that it's trending up as a good direction. The 2, 3 here, 4 or 5 that I get per day. But realistically, I know that it is definitely possible to get that burst. And that's what I'm waiting for. So the consistency is there, but this is not the first time that I've done a challenge like this where literally I was going live on, hey, Monica, I was going live on YouTube for 21 days. And I've done that twice. We did one together last December. If y'all were around then, a couple of people signed up that called that the visibility challenge. So, and I might do another visibility challenge, but I can't guarantee that it's going to happen this year. I'll try to do one early next year because they are really good. However, before that visibility challenge, I did a challenge of my own where I went live for 21 days on YouTube. And I was like, literally, I did not miss a day. I actually have it saved like on a playlist where you can see it. And so knowing that I've tried something like this before, I've been consistent, I showed up, I did the work, I made the content, and to still not be at that 1,000, that's where the frustration comes from. Like, it's like I could see if I don't create content at all, or if there was never a time where I like buckled down and I just like zoned in and honed in on it. But I've done this multiple times now and I still am not getting the results that I want. And so that's the part where it's like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. And I've been on YouTube for so long. And so, what I was gonna say to the whole idea though of like getting those bursts and being rewarded is that I know that that's a part of the algorithm and that's how it works. They reward you wanting to go after the viral moments. They reward you making the content, making content, making content, and then having one that does really well. And then your videos go back to the normal 300, 400, 500 views. Like I feel like that's an intentional thing to kind of like keep you on the roller coaster of making content and trying to figure it out. So I'm gonna leave that where it's at. I won't get into that theory, but that's what I feel. That's what I feel like the algorithms. I feel like that they're similar, and so all of that to say that if I can do it on TikTok, I can do it on YouTube because the platforms, the way that they were even created, they're so similar in the way they operate that you can if you can do well in one, you can do well in the other. The thing that I will say though is that the formats sometimes matter. So the fact that we have things like YouTube Shorts and you have the ability to go live are things that I don't feel like people take advantage of enough. And they think that in order to be successful on YouTube, they have to do the traditional YouTube videos. But if that's not what you excel in, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try them or learn how to get better at them. But what I am saying is like, don't make it harder for yourself. Do what's working on TikTok, on YouTube. Do what's working so that you can grow and you can show yourself that it's not a platform thing. You're not just a TikTok sensation. You can do this in multiple platforms. You just have to learn the platforms. Okay. So that's my confession. Okay. When I say I should be further, I should have more than 1,000 subscribers by now. I mean that on multiple levels. Yeah. Yeah. Stop dragging your feet. Don't drag your feet. Figure out how you can take what you do here and make it work over there. That's it. That's it. And at this point, I feel like it's imperative. It's imperative because we don't know what's going to happen in January. So, okay. So let me get into the archetype. Kayla says, I'm scared that if I focus on YouTube, I won't be consistent on TikTok anymore. You know, I understand that. And the reality of it is you may not be. You may not be. I'm becoming okay with that. Like y'all for real, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not a part of the creator fund on TikTok. I have never been the kind of creator who consistently gets the amount of views that you need on content in order to get paid out by the platform in that way. I've never been that kind of creator. And even when TikTok came out with it, I was skeptical of the creator fund because for one, I didn't understand how you were getting paid by it. And to me, it felt like a way for them to get us to make more money off of the platform. Okay. And if the way that I have made money from social media has not been from my views, but it has been from the quality of my content and from me selling products or services, then if I'm not creating content every day on a particular platform, but my content still converts, am I really losing? And then on top of that, it feels like everything becomes about making content and it becomes less about actually growing my business and growing my brand. And so the reason why we talk about content so much is because marketing is a big part of any business. Like if your marketing is not together, your business is not going to make money, right? Content is marketing. And so that's the reason why it is a very important part of your business, but it is not the only part of your business. And if you have so much marketing going on but not enough business going on, then you run the risk of making a bunch of content that doesn't actually get you the results that you want. That's a big one. That's one that I see happening a lot. People get burnt out because they're like, I'm making content, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm showing up here, I'm doing this. But then there's no rhyme or reason to what you're creating or why you're creating it. So you're honestly just making a bunch of content that's taking up space. And I don't like to say it so blunt, but I got to because I got to say it and then move on to the next point. So y'all, please hear my heart on it. But that's what's happening. More content doesn't always mean good content, and it doesn't always mean it's effective. Hey, Kuma. But then another thing that happens is that you're making a bunch of content, but you don't have a goal behind why you're making it. Like, what's your goal for the month? What are you trying to direct people to? What are you trying to advertise? What are you trying to grow? Where are you trying to lead people to? How many people do you want to get? How many clients are you trying to get? Like what's the flow? What's the direction of your content? Because if you're just making content from month to month, day to day, and you don't have a direction and a path that you want your content to take people in, then you're also doing a bunch of work for not a good return. And that's another thing that ends up burning people out and frustrating them because they want more money, they want more customers, they want bigger numbers, They want to grow their community, they want to grow their email list, but you're not actually intentional about what that looks like, or you're not strategic about what that looks like. And so that's another issue that people often run into. And so all of that to say, because it started because Kayla was saying, what if I'm consistent on one platform, that'll mean I'm inconsistent on another one. And to that, it's okay. You're not going to be able to be consistent on everyone all the time. You got to think, what is worth the investment of time at this point in my business, in my career. And I'll tell y'all a little tea about me. um I The reason why YouTube is my focus now is because I am not actively promoting the Get an Unshy collective. Okay. And for the people who are watching this who don't know what that is the branding program that I have that helps people to build their brand, to be authentic, to use their voice, to show up, come out from behind the scenes, and to build the brand of their dreams. Okay. And so it's a group program that I launched. Our third round started a week ago. And so I was actively promoting that. And so the reason why I did not start talking about I did not start making content on YouTube is because my most active platform up until this point is TikTok. And if I'm actively promoting and marketing something, then it doesn't make sense for me to try to grow a new platform, because now I'm trying to build an audience while trying to sell. And it doesn't work when you're trying to build and sell at the same time. So I focused on TikTok more, only until I was done marketing, actively promoting the Getting Unshy Collective, so that now I can focus more on growing and nurturing a community on a new platform, so that now this can be that platform for me. So I can make that shift and that transition. And so if you are finding that you're not getting the return that you need from a particular platform, or you want to just grow another one and you want to have that one be strong because you have your reasons, right? And there's a lot of reasons you could have. I won't get into those right now, but whatever your reasons are, then you are not going to be able to be as active on both of them, and that's okay. Is basically all I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'm looking at my time over here. I've been talking about this for 22 minutes. So let's see. I'm gonna try to keep it. I'm not going over an hour, y'all. Okay, I'm not going over an hour, but we're gonna move through this Explorer archetype, um, so that y'all can see if this is what you are. Okay, so I told myself I was gonna have like some cards or something. Let me grab the cards real fast, y'all. If y'all are excited about these brand archetypes, these brand personalities, let me know in the comments. Like, let me know how y'all are feeling about them, because when I learned about the brand personalities, it felt like I unlocked something that I didn't even know I needed. It just answered some of the questions that I had about how can I stand out? How can I be unique? How can I, yes, I did, Deanna. I saw your post in our community. How can I be different? How can I make content and speak in a way that really attracts the people that I want to serve and I want to help? I love being able to learn more about me. Hey, Michael. And so yeah, I'm hoping that like it excites y'all as well. Like being able to learn something new about yourself, and then that thing that you learned also help you with your business. I just think that's so dope. That's so dope. So I'm glad that y'all are enjoying it. Kayla said that she loved personality quizzes growing up. So yes, I still love personality quizzes. I love quizzes. I just love the fact that you could take a quiz and it can tell you something about you that you may not have known, or just like confirm something about you. So yeah, okay, y'all. So this is the card. This is the Explorer. I'm mostly putting this up so that I can know where to mark my videos so that I could put timestamps on them, because they be long and I get it. You need to know where to skip to. So this is we're going to get into the explorer archetype, okay? So, if you've got a never ending curiosity, a crave for new adventures, and an insatiable desire to discover, then you might be the explorer archetype. So, this goes beyond just loving traveling, and it's about breaking barriers, chasing the unknown, and enjoying the journey. And so, we're going to talk about the challenges, the strengths, the overview, and the storytelling, the colors, all of the things about the explorer that will help you to communicate this brand's personality to others. Okay. So, the strengths of the explorer are curiosity and open mindedness. They have an insatiable desire to learn and discover new things. Like they have to try new things, they have to challenge themselves, they have to be able to discover something different, and it's almost like an itch. Like they don't feel good until they scratch it. And they might be those people too who are like really prone to going down rabbit holes and like, okay, but this don't make sense. So what could that mean? Or what could this mean? And like coming up with those alternatives. Their independence and their self-reliance is another strength. They thrive on freedom and being self-sufficient. They are adaptable and they're resourceful. So they excel in unfamiliar and challenging environments. They have a passion for discovery, and they have this like inherent drive to explore and seek out new experiences. And they have courage and they are resilient. So they fearlessly face the unknown and overcome obstacles. So I will pause here for just a second because I, as I'm describing the archetypes, especially when I'm talking about the strengths, I want y'all to not just think about whether you feel like this is who you are, but also think about if this is what you want to be. Okay. And this is important to say because we will count ourselves out and disqualify ourselves because of the way that we perceive us, right? I think that most times people are more receptive to their challenges or hearing their weaknesses than they are in hearing their strengths because they don't feel like they measure up to it. Okay. And so as y'all are listening to this, if any of this feels daunting or it feels unattainable, but it's something that you know deep down you either have a desire to do or that you really do, but maybe you're just not giving yourself the credit for it, accept it and receive it, because if you don't, it's going to be harder for you to actually know what your brand personality is, and it's going to be harder for you to own it. All right. So I had to make sure I said that part. So when the explorer harnesses these strengths, it means that they are embracing their natural ability to venture into the unknown, and they inspire others to do the same, which is very important. You naturally being an explorer inspires other people to explore as well. So they're not just travelers, they are trailblazers who chart new territories and they push the limits of what's possible. Okay, okay. So the challenges of the explorer. Okay, because with our strengths, we have our challenges. Let me drink some water first. So, the challenges of the explorer is restlessness. So, struggling to stay content in one place or situation. Isolation. They can prefer solitude, which also can lead to loneliness, especially when it's extreme. Risk taking. So sometimes taking unnecessary risks in pursuit of adventure. And when you think about risks, this isn't just like the physical adventurous like skydiving or rock climbing, like not just the physical things that you may think of as risk, but this can even be financial risk. This can be more like not like emotional risk, but I guess that's like the best way to describe it. But they can be risks that aren't necessarily like tied to a physical activity. Okay. Commitment issues, difficulty in maintaining long-term relationships or commitments. and impulsiveness. So, acting on whim without considering long term consequences. These are all the challenges that the explorer can have. So, when the explorer recognizes and mitigates these challenges and they can maintain their sense of adventure while also still finding a way to balance and have stability in their lives, this is where they're going to thrive. So, having not losing that adventurous side of you, but also having an understanding that it needs to be tempered. Like every idea, every thought doesn't necessarily have to be taken to the extreme, right? Like having some systems in place or having a way where you're not going all the way on one end of the spectrum. So, here is the overview of the explorer archetype. So, at the heart of the explorer, there is a burning desire for discovery and a desire to explore the world in all its diversity. These are individuals that don't see the world as it is, but they see it as this vast landscape with opportunities and adventures that are waiting to be explored. So they have a highly curious nature. Like they are very, very curious, and it could almost, what I imagine, it almost be to the point where it feels challenging to hear it, but they just naturally want to learn and understand and just know how other people's brains work, other people's experiences, because that's a part of that insatiable curiosity that they have. So explorers often find themselves in roles where where their thirst for new experiences can shine and make it a significant impact on those around them. So before I get into the next part, about explorers creating thrilling and inspirational experiences, I have a client who identifies as the explorer archetype, and one of the things that she has done that has made her so appealing to the people that she wants to connect with is that she discovered the connection between premenopause or perimenopause and aneurysms, or menopause and aneurysms. And she had an aneurysm, uh I don't remember how many years ago, but that's not necessarily relevant to this part of the story. But she had an aneurysm, and she was trying to understand why she was having them, right? Like why this was happening at this point in her life. And so because of her curiosity and her desire to learn and to understand where it was coming from, and her openness to exploring different avenues and different reasons why that might be happening, she learned about the link between aneurysms and menopause. And so now that's one of the things that she that's one of the things that she shares with the women that she wants to serve. She's a menopause coach, a menopause wellness coach. And so her explorer archetype, her explorer identity has made her an inspiration to others who now want to learn more about their bodies at this point in their life. So when she took this quiz, well, when we played the game, she didn't take a quiz, but when we learned about her archetype, she also was wondering if it actually fit her, like if she actually measured up to the definition of it. And as I go through and I look back to all the things that she's told me and she shared about her story, I was like, that's literally you. It's literally you. So that's just like a little connection there. So explorers are often characterized by their ability to inspire others to step out of their comfort zones and embrace new experiences. Their dedication to discovery and adventure makes them amazing leaders in the fields that prioritize innovation, exploration, and personal growth, especially that personal growth, y'all. She literally fits that mold. They possess a unique ability to see the potential in the unknown, ensuring that their actions are not just adventurous, but deeply inspiring. So, here is the essence of the Explorer brand. Explorer brands are synonymous with adventure, curiosity, and freedom. Okay, I've mentioned that a couple of times already. And they have this intuitive grasp of what drives people to seek new experiences. And they often provide solutions that enable exploration and discovery. Okay, so if one of the things that you do naturally is you encourage people to learn for themselves, you encourage people to try a new approach, you encourage people to be more curious, to be more open minded, that's a trait of the explorer archetype. This archetype thrives on creating environments where people are encouraged to venture beyond their limits and making it a cornerstone in industries like travel, outdoor equipment, and personal development. So, explorer brands are not just about meeting expectations, but they're about exceeding them in the most adventurous way possible. So, if you've been listening, let me know if you can think of an explorer brand, an explorer archetype. I'm going to give some examples, but I'm curious to know if in listening to this you can think about some brands that you would associate this with. So the ones that I'm going to share, they're pretty on the nose. Because remember, yesterday I was telling y'all that the archetypes, the brand personalities are not just about having one, but when you have more than one, it gives you a well rounded perspective. It gives you a well rounded approach so that you don't come across being stereotypical. But when it comes to the examples that I'm going to share, they are still absolutely explorer brand, even if that's not the only aspect to their brand. So brands like Patagonia, North Face, those are like literally the ones that I think about the most. I also think about like uh Lara Croft. Is it Lara Croft, Tomb Raider? I feel like that character would definitely be the Explorer brand. What's the other one? The other popular one where the guy's like, it's like a he's like exploring stuff. I can't think of the name of it right now, but those are like I think about like khaki and the wild thornberries, like what you would wear on a safari. That's what I think about when I think about the explorer archetype. Um, those brands, Patagonia and North Face specifically, they not only introduce products that enable exploration, which is why I said they're like on the nose, but they also have a reputation for encouraging a spirit of discovery and environmental stewardship. They also another some other brands that are the explorer archetype are National Geographic, Jeep, and Jeep is a good one. But Jeep, someone was telling me that Jeep also kind of goes with the Rebel, which we will talk about. Maybe I'll talk about the Rebel tomorrow. So that's another example of a brand that has more than one, like it's like more than one brand personality. But Jeep definitely is an explorer brand, especially just the build of the car. It encourages exploration and freedom. But the explorer brands deeply understand their audience's need for freedom, new experiences, and ensuring that each interaction feels empowering and inspiring. Okay. So, when it comes to your audience as the Explorer brand, one of the key aspects of the Explorer brand is the ability to build lasting adventurous relationships with your audience. Okay. Like it needs to feel like they're going on a journey with you. It needs to feel like they're going through the caves or they're going up the mountain or like not, and I mean this metaphorically, but it needs to feel like they're going on a journey with you. um and so constantly demonstrating curiosity and adaptability is going to help to convey that idea, and not just displaying it but also encouraging your people to do it as well. So these brands create a shared experience that feels both personal and exhilarating. So having an ongoing dedication It's not just about offering a product or a service to them, but again, fostering this feeling of exploration. We're going on this journey together. You know what I think about? And this is another example that's like right on the nose, but I think about Dora the Explorer. These explorer brands are just jumping out to me now. But Dora, so okay, y'all roll with me with this idea for a second, because this is just literally I'm just kind of this is just an idea that popped into my head. But when you think about Dora the Explorer, if you ever watched Dora the Explorer, and you see how Dora at each level, like she takes you on the journey with her. Like she literally takes you on the journey with her. And she asks questions like when she's like, "Where should we go to next?" And then she just stands there and looks at you awkwardly. There's a part of me that feels like if your brand if part of your brand was the explorer, and then another part of your brand was, what would be another one? Because it kind of feels, I guess, because it's a kid show, there's like a child, like the innocence to it. But maybe even like the hero. I'm just thinking about all the brand personalities right now, y'all, so don't mind me. But if you kind of took that approach with your audience, and instead of like telling them what they should do or telling them what you would do, ask them like, okay, like if you have like a, let's say you have like a vlog, or maybe just like a day in the life kind of situation, and you want to be able to um create an interesting video, but maybe in that video you're going to the doctor's office, or you got some errands to run. And so you're going, and you let them know about your experience with the doctor, but then at some point when you go to the doctor, you're like, "Okay, y'all, so I've gone to the doctor, and they're not they're when I talked to them, they didn't really tell me anything that was useful. Like I feel like there's something wrong, but they're trying to tell me that there's not anything wrong with me. So what should I do? Should I schedule an appointment with another type of doctor? Or even better, instead of saying another type of doctor, ask your audience for a suggestion. Like, what type of doctor should I talk to when I'm having these kind of problems? So now not only are you creating a vlog that's interesting and you're sharing your life with them, you're taking them on the adventure, but you're also inviting them into the story to explore with you and go on the adventure with you. So I just feel like the explorer should really operate more like Dora, is the gist of all of this. Operate more like Dora, make more content like Dora. So yeah, that's the journey that you should be taking your audience on as the explorer. Okay. And now, when you're overcoming the challenge that you have, the explorer often struggles with the balance, their balance for the drive, their balance of the drive for new experiences, but also having a need for stability and commitment. And so, like, sticking to something. Like, I know it's great to be able to explore and go out and do new things, and every day you want it to be a new day, but you got to have something to anchor you in life. Okay. And I feel like that's the part where I'm not an explorer archetype, but because of the way that I can be as a creative, I can identify with that in some ways. And so I think that, like, that's a touch point that I connect on with the explorer archetype. And so the path of the explorer is often fraught with risks of restlessness, isolation, and the emotional toll of the emotional toll that was eating me up. The emotional toll of constant change. So having that balance, having some kind of structure or something that anchors you is going to be critical as the explorer archetype. Okay? One that keeps you grounded, but it doesn't keep you boring. It allows you that space to explore. So, now let's get into the good stuff when it comes to how this why this matters and how this works with your customers. So when you're connecting with customers, your customers are going to be attracted and drawn to that value of adventure, freedom, and discovery. And when I say these parts, especially when you're connecting with your customers, your clients may not be your archetype. Okay. Like your archetype is really more about you and your company, your brand, and the culture of your brand and the way that you communicate it, but it's not because you're trying to attract more explorers or more creators or more rebels. You're speaking to a certain desire that they have, even if that's not what they identify with. So I want to make sure that I make that clear. Like your brand personality is about you owning who you are, owning what your brand represents, and then communicating that well so that it attracts the right people. Okay. So your customers are not just buying a product. They're buying into the relationship, they're buying into the exploration and the inspiration that you give them by being the explorer, by being adventurous, by being that risk taker. And so constantly demonstrating courage and adaptability, you are the trailblazer. You are the pioneer, and your success is going to depend on you being willing to be courageous, you being willing to go with the flow, you being willing to take the things that are happening, take it on the chin, and then keep on moving, because that is what, first of all, that is who you are, and you got to own that, but also that's what's going to draw people to you. So it's important for you to always temper that and check that, so that you are not allowing your fears and your concerns to now dictate your personality. So explorer brands can create a loyal following that appreciates their commitment to pushing the boundaries and seeking the unknown. So when it comes to positioning yourself, explorer brands often have a bold and adventurous approach with their focus on freedom and discovery. We've talked about this a few times. This is the part where a lot of explorer brands might be missing the mark, though. Okay. So your offerings are typically set at a premium price range because you're emphasizing quality and durability. And so even if you don't have a product, but you are, well, let's stick with products for a second first. If you are an explorer brand and you are, let's say you're creating products, but your products feel, by the price of them, they feel extremely cheap. Like it be can't be built to last. Forward to it can't be built to last. It's not durable. It's not something that's going to stand the test of time because the price is too cheap. And there comes a time, like I know everybody loves a good deal. Everybody loves when things are cheaper. However, cheap is relative. Okay. Cheap is relative. And so if you are the Explorer brand and your prices do not match the durability, the stability, and the dependability of your products, that can be a problem for you when you start trying to sell things. And that could be a problem. That could be a reason why you're having a hard time selling things and making money, because your prices don't match the quality. Even when you think about like a North Face, North Face is not a cheap brand. Like it's not a bargain brand. And even when you find cheaper versions, cheaper quality, it's either because it's on sale, or maybe you found it at one of those like discount stores that sells their stuff for slightly cheaper. But it's like even like North Face itself is not willing to go below a certain price for their products, because if they did, then you wouldn't believe that it was going to last. You wouldn't believe that it's durable. So that's something to think about and consider. The design and the marketing often reflects adventure and resilience, and they often have striking imagery and bold messaging to reinforce their adventurous tone. So let's get into some of the colors for the Explorer brand. Okay. So Explorer brands often lean towards the earthy and bold color. So remember earlier I was talking about khakis. And when I think about the Explorer, I think about like khaki. I think about everything like wild thornberries, like I was telling you, like the natural materials. That's what I think about. So colors like green, brown, and dark blues evoke a sense of adventure and resilience. And these colors are often used to create a visual identity that feels rugged and inspiring. Now, I will say though, if you have a brand that the Explorer archetype is a part of your brand, hey Angel, is a part of your brand, but it is not the only aspect of your brand, you may not lean too far into like that rugged look. The greens and the browns and the blues might be more of a complementary thing, but they might be more of a complementary thing than a main color thing. So you can pick and choose which aspects of each of this make the most sense for your brand when you learn your full brand identity. But it's just some things to think about. Okay. Um, Another thing that is not on, well, I'll get to that in a second. I won't skip ahead. So the values of the explorer at their heart is the desire for discovery and freedom. Okay. It's not just about products, but it is an extension of their commitment to adventure and exploration, curiosity, and courage. Thank you, Angel. So, as an explorer, this is how you want to make your community feel. You want them to feel adventurous and inspired. You want them to feel empowered and free, knowing they can conquer the unknown. You want them to feel curious and excited, eager to discover new experiences. And you want them to feel resilient and, and courageous, embracing challenges with confidence. So those are the things that you want them to feel. That's how you want to make them feel. And again, if you go back to my example of making more content like Dora the Explorer, you're going to get there. You are going to get there. Okay. So, when you're making connections as an explorer, it is very important for you to show genuine passion for discovery and adventure. And if you are truly an explorer, this honestly will not be hard. But what I will say is that it might not feel genuine if it's not really a part of what you do naturally. So, like, let's say, for instance, you're not naturally curious about a particular topic, but because you feel like you have to have this persona or this image of the explorer, you go for it and you do it anyway. That is going to come across as fake. And if you are truly the explorer, you shouldn't have to fake it. It's just who you are naturally. So if you're not naturally interested in it, if you're not naturally curious about it, don't force it for the sake of trying to fit the mold. Okay. You're not an actor unless you are an actor. But even then, we're not talking about acting. um, you want to provide consistent inspiration and encouragement. And this can definitely be hard when life is happening and you may not feel inspired, you may not feel excited, you may not feel like encouraging anybody because you need encouragement yourself. Those are the moments where I I would honestly say I want you to be able to be real, but I would encourage you, is my encouragement for your encouragement. I would encourage you to take your story, take how you're feeling, and bring some encouragement into it, bring some inspiration into it. And if you don't feel that you are capable of doing that in the moment, then that may not be the space for you to share it just yet. Wait to share those parts when you can give it that inspiration and encouragement that it needs, okay? Because the pessimism isn't going to do well for your brand. Um, and then another thing when you're making connections, communicate boldly and honestly. Okay. Make the individuals feel empowered and motivated. So here are just a couple storytelling ideas. There is a full list of storytelling ideas. This is going to be for your content. This is going to be for when you have conversations with people. This is going to help you to make better stories. Okay, tell better stories. So talk about how your I'm looking through these. These are longer than I thought they were. So, talk about, let's say that you have like some kind of technology. You can talk about how that is enabling people to explore new digital landscapes or give them some new creative potential. You can talk about a testimonial from a customer who has grown like professionally or who's grown personally from being connected to you or working with you. You can talk about your journey as an entrepreneur and how your business has had its ups and downs, its successes and its fails. Okay. And there's three more ideas for storytelling, but I'll save those for the blog. So this is all going to be on my website. If you missed anything or if you just want to get a visual of all of the information that I share on each archetype, it will be in the description box. Okay. But another thing that I suggested for my client that is the explorer archetype is I told her to start making more content outdoors. I told her for one, it's the content that she does that really captivates me and she feels very natural when she's outside and walking is a part of her daily routine anyway. So I told her when you can make more content outdoors, and that's still to this day some of my favorite content by her when she's sharing her insights, when she's showing how many steps she got in. But that's another part of the adventure aspect that makes the explorer so appealing. So some of the key phrases and words that you want to use as the explorer is: together we explore the unknown, discovering new horizons, adventure awaits, embrace the journey, push the boundaries, march to the beat of your own drum. That one's important because that is important to the explorer, is marching to the beat of your own drum. Like I see what you're doing, but this is what I got to do for me. I got to explore this. I got to explore this avenue. Okay. So, as explorers, always remember to balance your thirst of adventure with moments of reflection and connection. Do not get to the place where you are isolating yourself, y'all. Okay. Do not get to the place where you are so disconnected from the people who love you, the people who need you, the people that you need. You can have your solitude, have those moments, but don't let it get to the point where you feel like you don't have anybody. Okay. Um, and then each journey is a testament to your boundless curiosity and courage because it is such a beautiful aspect of who you are. And so keep seeking, keep discovering, and watch as you create a world of adventure and inspiration with every step. So, oh, we're doing good on time. Okay, y'all. So I got to go through these a little bit faster than what I desire, but I got to get on a call in a little bit. So we're going to go through these real fast. So, in the explorer family, you may not be the explorer, but you might relate more closely to some of the other personalities within the explorer family. Okay. So, the first one is the adventurer. The adventurer is in constant motion, thriving on the unknown and seeking the thrill of pushing past limits. You might be a pioneer. A pioneer is a groundbreaker able to courageously leave behind the known for the promise of what might be. You might be a seeker, not from Harry Potter, unfortunately, but you might be a seeker who is driven to continuously learn, grow, and expand. You're ambitious and independent and perpetual motion and travels lightly. Or you might be a generalist. The generalist is known as the Renaissance person. That means you know a little bit of everything. Okay. Like you're gifted and skilled in a little bit of all things. Thank you, Crown. So the Generalist is enchanted by the diversity of great stimuli available from culture, science, knowledge, the arts, and possesses an underlying belief that the world is a ready treasure trove of experiences. Okay, that's a quick overview of each of those. So I'm gonna run through them one more time. Okay, I'm doing good. I'm gonna run through it one more time. So within the Explorer family, we have the Generalist, we have the Adventurer, we have the Pioneer, and we have the Seeker. All right, y'all. So that is the Explorer archetype. Y'all, let me know in the comments when you watch this if you believe that you might be an explorer or you might be one of the explorers cousin in them. You know, you may not be a full-blown explorer, but you might relate more closely to the other ones. If you go to my website, in the description box and you go to this blog post, you will see a longer description of each one of the ones in the family. And if you want me to help you to discover what your brand personality is, I can help you do that using the Brand Style Lab, which is a session one-on-one with me. It's like an intensive where we go through your brand personality, we go through your content, we go through the ways that your brand can expand and extend, we go through the holes and the things that might be missing, the things that need to be tweaked. So if you're looking for a refresh, if you're looking to expand your brand, it's already doing well, but you wanted to go further, you want to push a little bit further, then this might be a good option for you as well. All of that is going to be in the blog post, access to that. And if you want to get the discount code for it, the discount is brand new 25, and that will make the Brand Style Lab go from 1500 to 997. Okay. But until next time, y'all, I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the Rebel. Okay. And we'll see where y'all fall in that one. I just give y'all like a little teaser. I am in the Rebel family. I know, little old me, a rebel, but I'm actually in the Rebel family. So this is another one that I feel strongly about. But y'all have to find out what that one looks like and what that one's talking about tomorrow. Okay. So I love y'all. Y'all be good. Y'all take care of yourselves today. Take the time that you need to just check in, reflect, be mad, be sad, whatever you need to do to process today. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.